Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM, streaming live on the web at WLCNonline.com. We are at Jake the Snake Furnishings today. Morning, Jake.
Really? Jesus, it's Jake's Furnishings. You can't.
I added my own twist.
Let's keep it simple.
I added my twist. I'm Scott Kirby along with Joe Ryan, and we have one of the voices of Lincoln Raider basketball in with us this morning, Josh Komnick. Good morning, Josh.
Hey, boys. How's
Mr. Komnick?
Listeners.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I come in, there's a buffet of, I can tell, buffet of breakfast stuff, coffee everywhere. Where's that? I leave and here comes the food and drinks.
You know, we tend to upgrade.
Yeah, I can see.
Josh, it hasn't really seemed that we've been off that long for basketball. You know, when you play into March, you know, it's kind of a short off season, but the Lincoln Raiders about ready to tip off here in, 2 days, 10 hours, 23 minutes and about 10 seconds tip off.
Yeah, you're right. And ask the guys, too. You know, they don't take any time off. So their season is quickly upon us with the Eaton Electrical Round Robin Tournament coming up on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 2 on Saturday. So full week of basketball, and it's that time again.
We will have Coach Al in on Saturday mornings. We usually don't start that until after the Thanksgiving tournament just because, you know, they're practicing and then they have a game Saturday morning. We will not have a show next Saturday because of that. If you had a chance to talk to Coach Al, I went out to the Meet the Raiders Thursday night, and you can't really judge how kind of a team you're going to have there just because it's just more of a scrimmage, and the kids are dead tired by then, you know, having 2-a-days for 2 weeks and then 2 practices Thursday and then meet the Raiders and then they do it again Friday. They'll have practice today, tomorrow. If you had a chance to talk to Coach Al, you can't really compare it to last year's team just because, you know, we lost, 4 starters and, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Gavin. But what's Coach Al think of this team?
Well, I think there's probably a couple question marks, not only in Coach Al's mind, but as us fans or the fans that attend most games will have, where do you fill that void, like you said, Scott, of 4 starters gone, the senior leadership that has been there with those guys, the experience of being in big games, who brings the ball up in a pressure situation when Gavin's double-teamed, or where do we get scoring from, who's going to get that big rebound. So I think there's, in all minds of coaches and fans and guys that are close with the program, and can we figure out who's going to be that guy that steps up for this Raider team. We've got some experience back, some of the guys, the key guys that were off the bench on that team that finished second in state last year. So I think there's some experience. They've been in big games before. Ebelair was played in that stretch run pretty much all season. Cook was there also. It's past that. Where are you going to get the scoring? And our size, I think, is a big question mark for me. We weren't terribly tall last year, but our guards were big. Max Cook was 6'2", and you got Bolby at 6'4". When you can run, when you're 6 foot and above up to 6'5", that's a pretty decent high school roster. When you don't have a 6'7" or 6'8" guy, but you don't have any of those 5'10" or 5'9" guys also. So I think there's a lot of question marks that have to be answered, and we've got one of the best coaches to do it. We'll find the answers, and hopefully we'll be ready to go Monday.
Well, some of those other kids, you mentioned Will Cook, Peyton Ebelair, they've had some experience, but then you got Aaron Hopp coming up. He's a junior. There's going to be a lot of pressure, and Gavin Block is our big guy and our name guy, and he's going to more than likely be double teamed, boxing one every game. He's going to have a target on his back. So these other kids are going to have to step up, and are they going to be able to handle the pressure? Because it's a big jump from JV to varsity as far as speed. Are they going to be able to step up and hit that big shot? Will Cook came in last year and hit a couple big shots to keep us going. Are we going to have another kid that can step up? Because like you said, we're not real big. I don't know how deep we are on the bench. We got Garrett Isles, KJ Fry. We can shoot the ball, but can we defend and get to the basket?
Well, I think a big key last year was about the time of Christmas. We went through that Eaton Electrical round robin where we were shooting a lot of threes, and we were like, oh man, here we go again. We're going to bomb it up from three, and if we hit them, we're going to look awesome. If we don't, we're just not going to be able to score. We're not going to look very good. And I thought about Christmas time last year. I don't know if it was the coaching staff or the guys or what. We started to put in some transition. We started to get some easy baskets. We started going to the hole, and if we didn't convert layups, we got to the free throw line. And I think that'll be a huge key for this team. As you guys know, you can't shoot the ball from three at a 40% clip all year. It just doesn't work like that. Right. And in order to win games, your defense has got to be good. You've got to be able to find other ways to score. That's a big thing of mine. Is don't rely on the three. We've got some quickness. Can we finish around the rim? Can we find those easy ways to get baskets when the threes aren't falling? And I think that'll be a big question mark for this team. We've got the quickness. Can we get into the lane, and do we always want to kick it out for a three, or can we finish around the rim and get to the free throw line and do that kind of thing? So it's finding ways to score. I think will be a key for this basketball team, because Gavin, as you said, I think not only do you have the attention that you finished second in state last year, but with social media, everybody knows he's going to Ohio University. I mean, it's just out there. Kids are on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. The fans are going to know it. The opposing student body is going to know it. So he's going to hear it from everybody, as did Brian Cook, as did everybody that had signed previously before their senior year. So that also adds to wearing a Lincoln uniform as well.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Gavin did sign with Ohio University. Is that obviously it's a big relief, and there's no more pressure on him. Were you kind of surprised that he signed this early? I don't know what kind of offers he had out there, but Ohio University, that's a Division I school, and it's an elite school. You're always hearing about them. Mm-hmm. Were you surprised that he signed so early and not kind of hold off a little bit to see what else was out there?
I don't think so. I mean, I think if I was in that situation, I'd want to get it over with too. I want to enjoy my senior year. I don't want to have to look. And players tell you they don't do it, but you know very well they do. They know when that a coach from Ohio is in the stands watching you that night. They probably tell you they're coming, or you see them, or you see the jersey or the emblem on their shirt. You can see somebody from Bradley or somebody from ISU. If they tell you they don't look, they're lying, because I did the same thing. That there, and you don't want to have to go out and think that I got to score 30 to impress this guy. I think he just wanted to get it over with. He found a fit that he liked. I think he found a coach that he liked. Ohio University, that's where Coach John Gross was before he went to Illinois. So it's great, a good basketball school. I remember Champaign Centennial had a kid that tore us up for years, McKinney, left-handed kid that Ravante Rice was on that team when they got second state, I think, or maybe third, something like that. He went there. So it's good basketball. As I said, I think he just wanted to get it over with and enjoy his senior year. So I think I would have done the same thing. If that's where he felt fit was well for him, great for him and great for his family.
How about you, Jake? Would you have done that back in your day? I mean, did you do that?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly where I would have went. I mean, there was college.
There's scouts?
Scouts?
What?
People watching you? Why would they do that? No, I mean, that's pretty awesome, though. And Gavin, I mean, obviously, he's going to be kind of a focal point of the team. He's going to win some ball games by himself, I think, this year. I mean, basically, drawing all the attention he does and everything, and his ability. I mean, you can play it for him all you want. Let's face it, when you have the ability that he does, he's going to still get his. But I like the surrounding cast this year. I like their ability to pass. I think they've got an unbelievable passing team. And Coach Al, he has a way of getting a defense up for especially the big games. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of excited for this team. Not to say it's the same as last year, because last year was really special. But I like the looks of this team. Maybe they feel a little more. I don't know, kind of an underdog role because of the team last year and the expectations for that team last year. And this year, everybody's kind of talking, oh, well, they're not the same as last year. Well, maybe they got a little chip on their shoulder.
Well,
maybe they'll go out there.
They may have a little bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
Because they had a little taste of it last year going to state. Got runner-up, and, that's the best we've ever done. But they want that next step, and that's the next step to go to. So hopefully they're going to come in hungry. It might take this team a little while to gel, just because they haven't. They played all summer, but it does. We got a new crew in there, so it might take a little time to gel. But we're going to be quick. We can shoot the ball. we just have to defend.
Yeah, I think defensive rebounding, which is always our, if there is a problem again in our 1-2-2, it's always been the rebounding. And now when you add, you look at guys like Hop, they're probably going to play a back, or you bring one of the sophomores, O'Donohue, a bigger kid that can bang a little bit down low, but you still got to be able to rebound. And it reminds me of a team that we had when I was a sophomore. We had a bunch of shooters on the outside with very little size underneath. I think I played a 5 and Jason Osborne played a 4. You almost gave up the rebounding to get the ball out as quickly as you could and get down to fire a 3 as soon as you can. We had a lot of guys that were pretty scrappy with that, but it's that type of team where you're small underneath, but you're quick. I think they can transition a lot. I think they push the basketball, and maybe you'll see more pressure on the 1-2-2, more upfront pressure where you're just using your quickness. Then again, though, you've got to have some guys off the bench because you can't play that way a whole game.
Right. Joe, are you with us today?
Yeah, I'm listening. It's all good stuff. I know better than open my mouth. I think their team, just what you said. They may not come right out of the blocks. You're 12-0, you're 15-0, you're 18-0. This is a team that might lose. At some point in the season, they're 13-5 or something, but they're a team towards the end of the season that will be very, very good come tournament time, I think.
And that's where you want to be playing your best basketball. Obviously, last year we played our good basketball season, but as long as you improve towards the end of the year and come, playoff time, that's when you want to be playing at your best. So, yeah, I'm excited. I was out there Thursday night, meet the Railers, and we had a good crowd out there. Cheerleaders are out there doing their thing, and you got to meet all the players from freshmen and up, and a lot of excited people. So I look for another great year.
Well, I think there's an excitement still. You kind of go in a lull where you're it's become ordinary for us to be in a sectional championship, or it's being ordinary for us to win a regional, and I think the fans and as well as people just looking from afar kind of get, well, it's going to be another sectional year, but do you add a state tournament and then you get another excitement for about 4 more years, and it's something new, and obviously the fan support last year, as it is always, but at Peoria was just unbelievable, and it's one of those seasons that we were all there, and we'll never forget to watch. What a special group. Actually, I was just at Lincoln College last night watching Bowlby play, and started out 5 for 5 from 3 from the game. So it was, those guys are just continuing to go on, and I know Max is out there playing, and I follow Horsham a little bit down at John A. Logan playing baseball. So it's some of those guys that are real good guys that you like to follow, and I think this group will have some more of those.
And is Pop Belsick playing basketball at IC?
I think he's probably out by now. Heck, he's probably been out of school.
No, he's younger than Austin.
Pod Belsick?
He should only be a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. I was told he's playing. I didn't realize he was playing basketball. I was told he was playing basketball at
Illinois College?
No, that's not right.
IVC?
Somebody call in and tell us. No.
Well, Joe, if you don't have your facts straight, you can't just bring something.
Well, I think
on this show, that never happens.
Ryan Bast.
Ryan Bast is up north. He's in
Illinois school.
Illinois College?
No,
wasn't that? No, we'll have to find out.
We'll have to find that out.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. But
well, we can't take any callers. Right. So if you can tweet, we can tweet at WLCN Sports at Twitter, whatever that is. I don't even know how you say that, Jake.
Tweet me.
You're on your own roll here.
John, you're the Twitter.
Yeah,
tweeter.
I think it's
WLCN Sports
at WLCN.
Monmouth, there you go.
There you go. That was quick.
We've already got it.
He's our information.
And he's playing basketball, right? Yeah. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well,
told me this week.
Yeah, they still going on. So it's it'll be interesting. You guys talk about the tournament coming up here on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm just trying to do some research for you on some of the teams. I was looking at Muhammad Seymour, who's a new participant to the Eaton Electrical Round Robin, and they've got a young man that has signed at UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso, 6'7", I believe, 6'6", something like that, more of a wing player. Their coach was Chad Benedict, that used to be at Illini Central. I don't know if you know that name. I think his team, this was years ago, even a little before I was in high school. I think they were number 1 in the state. The guy was telling me, Chad Benedict from Illini Central. He's now the coach of Muhammad Seymour. So they will be over here. And, of course, Champaign Centennial has a new Finke.
Yeah.
His brother's a freshman, rated one of the best freshman in the state of Illinois, if not the best in Illinois. I know he's top rated in the country also. 6'5". Of course, Illinois is already all over him. I've been reading some things about him. So some young talent, some old talent there at the Eaton Electrical. Of course, you got Morton still there. Cahokia, always a very talented team. Danville also. So it's going to be another fun tournament here next week.
So we tip off Monday night, 8 o'clock against Danville. And then Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
No, 7:30.
7:30
no,
Wednesday?
7:30 because Champaign
That's right.
Centennial and Danville will play over at Danville on Wednesday, and then 8 o'clock Friday. And then we've got the 11:30 game against Cahokia on a Saturday. Boy, get up for Cahokia on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, that could be a...
What's Coach Al doing there?
Well, and then you finish up with Morton.
8 o'clock Morton.
So you figured, Morton brings in a pretty good crowd.
Right,
so.
8 o'clock Morton, and which has always been they've been down the last couple of years, but before then they've gotten the best of us a couple
few years
times.
ago. I mean, we played Morton a couple of times, and I know we played them in a regional in Lincoln, and it got pretty brutal. So
Matt Yarko over there helping out.
There you go, yeah.
Hey, what'd you say Friday or Monday night's game is? What
8
time?
o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Somebody told me 5 o'clock. Boy, is there confusion out
They
there.
didn't want you there.
5 o'clock.
All right. Hey, let's take a commercial break, and we'll come back. We'll talk some NFL. We'll talk some Illini basketball while we have Komnick in here with us. I know he follows up on them. But before we go, we got some Black Friday information to give out here, Jake.
Yeah.
Here we go.
1 year, no interest here at Jake's. Black Friday, this Friday,
actually,
next Friday.
You know what? We actually started today.
Started today.
We started today.
He's got a
we're
black
doing
the whole weekend.
the whole week. I'll call it Green Week.
Really?
It'll be Green Week leading up to Black Friday.
Because you're putting some green back in people's pockets.
Yes.
You know?
And it's 15% off Ashley
Some of this
Furniture.
stuff's a pretty good deal, man.
You got
there is one thing that we're holding for some recliners that we are holding back for Black Friday.
So it's a big announcement.
Yeah, that one. I think that one we're only going to be putting on our Facebook page. So
Really?
be a friend of the Jake's Furnishings on Facebook.
Oh, we're
if you wanna
friends.
find that
What
out.
about if you're on the radio with him? Would you find out early?
Negative? No, especially you guys.
Oh, fine.
Jeez.
Guess our money's no good.
Our
here.
money's no good out here.
All right.
I know how Scott's waiting for that.
I'm waiting for that. Is it free?
recliner? He wants a $1 recliner.
I don't even know if I do
Buy
that.
one, get one for $1.
BOGO. All right, well, let's take a break. You're in the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM, streaming live at the web, WLCNonline.com.
Baseball season's underway. Well, you better get ready for a brand new day.
Got to be one of the worst
Yeah. No, that's good.
songs.
Right now, they're tied for first.
That gives me goosebumps.
Oh my God!
Cubs are gonna win today.
Sorry, good. Hey, wake up!
They're not going to lose today.
Well, it's on the TV and
What a joke!
building
Hey,
building for
Chicago, what do you
2015.
say?
Yeah,
The
well,
Cubs are gone.
the Cubs
I
are building
wish
for.
they did.
Haven't they been doing that for?
They've been building for 2020 for 20, 50 years.
Well, we are at
Okay.
Jake's, and he's got Cubs all over the big screens here. And we're
It's
liking it.
embarrassing.
It's good.
Come on, pan over there, yeah.
Paying over the
Darling, we got
Cubs.
the MLB Network talking them up big time today.
Welcome back
Why?
to Cheap Seats. Scott Kirby. We got Josh Komnick with us. As always, Jake Johnston and Joe Ryan bringing you all
And the cord man.
sports knowledge that you need.
Here comes the cord man again.
You know, and there should be a little talk of the Cubs right now, to be honest. Signing Joe Man wasn't just a PR thing. He is a good manager of young talent, which I think they had last year as well. But I believe that they're going to be bringing in a couple big-time names here very shortly. And,
Oh, crap. Don't throw it.
fade pattern.
Here we go.
They have to bring in some big names, or they're going to be just where
Or
they
they're
were
just
last
gonna be where they were last
So
year.
what's the difference with the manager? I mean, I don't understand.
Well, you bring in the manager, you bring in a couple of the big-name talents.
Well, yeah, I get that.
But they're not. Russell Martin, that was one they were targeting.
Russell Martin's
he goes
gone.
to Toronto.
Correct. They
So
did
now-
need a catcher.
They do need a catcher.
That has some experience.
Now they're talking about the guy from Arizona, that catcher. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Well, you got to
Jody Davis.
We have to have two
I
more
wish.
starters.
Well, you got. I think they're talking tomorrow, aren't they? Again?
I don't even pay attention to the
There
Cubs.
you
Why
go.
you guys
Well,
listen to the Cubs?
I
is
don't.
beyond
They brought
me.
it on.
Yeah. Well, you
It's
know,
strange.
in my opinion, they need a mid-flight pitcher that has high ceiling potential, such as Alariano. If you can bring him in, you got your lefty. That's pretty important, especially in the Central Division. And then you bring in I'm saying a James Shields. I don't think they'll be able to be in on Searcher, but it just depends. It seems like the Cubs ownership in the last few years has shown that they're not going to overpay, and for Searcher you're going to have to. So you get those two guys, and I mean that's two days in a row. You're going to have some tough competition right there. And if your guys don't strike out every time, you should be good.
That's the problem. They strike out if they get three batters an inning. That's if.
Yeah,
they have to though, Jake.
Yeah,
They strike out 2.5 of those.
We can talk baseball later. It's
they
only
should push
November.
to get 4 outs an inning.
We'll talk.
My beloved Birds made a big trade.
Yeah. Is that really a big trade?
It is a big trade.
You like Hayward? I liked him, but I'm not big on. I mean,
I liked him about the first 2 years.
And this is the thing you might not know about him. He's only 25.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't know
with
that.
baseball, your true power comes in at 24 to 28. I mean, if you're that, it seems like he's been playing for 6 years. That's when the roids kick in.
Yeah.
And obviously coming to St. Louis, that's when they're going to start injecting you a little heavier.
Yeah.
You're going to be a little bigger. You're going to bring some strength.
And he'll be an all-star if not next year, the year after, if he puts on that Cardinal uniform. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, because Mark McGuire, he'll get Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire's he's in L.A.
Well, he's got connections.
Puig.
Got connections.
If you're one of them, people want to bring you down.
Well, let's
Mark
talk.
McGuire has some Lincoln College connections, I believe. Isn't his wife? His wife is a graduate of Lincoln College.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Boy, you're just full of knowledge.
Coolio.
Where's this been?
He's a vat.
Between you and Lloyd, man, we got
me?
it covered. Well, let's. We don't need to talk baseball right now. It's November. Let's talk some Illini basketball, Josh.
Whooping last night.
Yeah, boy, they've been putting some points on the board, and it's a whole new look offense. What do you think about it?
I haven't seen it. Of course, you can't get with all the money they give each school. The Big Ten Network won't pick up any of these games yet, so I haven't yet got to see any of the actual game. I've seen some highlights. Well, I think they've got some experience. Cosby's been at Seton Hall before. Now he sat out last year. Starks was a several-year starter at Oregon State, sat out last year, and thank goodness they didn't give him his release because we needed him this year after Abrams went down. Mm-hmm. So they've got some experience back. Now, I don't know about experience being in an Illinois uniform, but it sounds like they can really shoot the basketball. Their size scares me. Egwu, I keep hearing for the last 3 years he's a great defender. And the first game, boom, 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes. That's not a great defender, Mr. Gross. I'm telling you, that's not a great defender.
It's a hacker.
He's in foul trouble every game I watch, and that's mostly all of them. So they've got a kid out of Memphis that they're really high on, LaRon Black, who's supposedly been playing really well. I think they can really shoot the ball. I think they've got some guys that can handle the ball. It sounds like they're starting to get some players now that is what Gross wants to do. What he was at Ohio. We talked about Ohio where Gavin's going next year, where they wanted to push the basketball and really transition. It sounds like they're getting those guys. I'm worried about our front line, our back guys. Are we big enough? Are we strong enough to handle that rigorous Big Ten? That seems like the Big Ten is going to be good again. Wisconsin, third in the nation already, and Michigan State, of course, up there already. Ohio State. Yeah. It's going to be it'll be better than we were last year. I don't know if we're quite there yet, where we want to be, or we were when Self was
I think
there,
we're a tournament team this year.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. If we make shots, we'll be pretty good. They put up 100 the last couple games. Yeah. I know it's against
averaging
Austin P, but
100.3 points per game.
Yep.
50% from three.
Yeah, and all those games have been at home, which that helps. But I'd like to see. We weren't a very good team on the road last year at all. So I'd like to see us go on the road, which we will here shortly, and see what they can do.
ILL, baby.
I.
Yeah, and I think the crowd will be rocking. They've of course they're redoing the State Farm Center. We got that all renamed and starting to redo some things in there. So it needed an upgrade. You go to these facilities, and I haven't been to very many of them, but you go like to Wisconsin or Ohio State, and it's Videotron here, and it's sweet locker room here, and it's those recruits look at that. Maybe bigger than the actual coach or the actual team. They look at stuff, what kind of gear they're going to get, all that kind of stuff.
It won't matter out of Duke or North Carolina, but it does at Illinois. We need to bring them in with some type of showcase.
Well, let's hit on that. The recruits. It seems like the past several months, Illinois is going after that 5-star recruit, and Illinois is always on this kid's radar, but we just can't reel him in. Is that just a recruiting issue, or I mean,
Well, I think it's success is one thing. You look at where these guys are going. The kid went to Kansas last year, the big kid that plays at Kansas now. Okafor went to Duke. You got to be successful. These kids don't want to go there. Their main goal is to maybe win a championship. But their ultimate goal is to get to the NBA. And those guys are putting guys in the NBA, and lately Illinois hasn't. So I think Coach Gross said he's going to swing big, and he's gonna go for the fences, and he's missed out on a few. He's got a few, I think. But it's can you get one to add to another, and keep going.
What are your thoughts on? Would you rather have that? Let's say that 1-year player like an Okafor or a Jabari Parker, or do you want to get that kid that's going to be there, 3 or 4 years?
Well, I think it depends on what's at your school now. I mean, what's on your team now? Can this kid come in for 1 year and you can be a contender? Can Okafor come in here and get us to the national championship, or can he get us to the Final Four? There's a chance. I mean, he's 7 foot. He's big. He's a low post presence. I think I'd do it. I think I'd take a chance on a guy. It seems to have worked out pretty well for Kentucky. I know they get a lot of them, but
have you seen Kentucky play?
Yeah, I did see that in a game.
But they any good?
Yeah.
Their whole squad is good. They've got A team, B team.
Yeah, they're a little ridiculous, but I think I would go for the fences.
Yeah.
I saw, there's a lot of Peyton Allen haters out there. I saw
that. Yeah.
Leading scorer for him last night, 14 points, starting at Texas A&M.
At a win, too, and they got a win. That won't last too long anymore. I think they've got one of the best, maybe the top 2 recruiting class coming in the country next year. Why they're going to Texas A&M, I have not yet figured it out. But, yeah, they're
good recruiting.
Good to him, yeah.
Well, it's fine to be a Peyton Allen hater when you're playing against him, but why not root him on now? It's a Central State 8 kid playing big Division I basketball. Heck, let's give him our support.
Stepping out there starting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cool.
He's a good player. He'll be good. He'll work his tail off, and guys always need shooters. You look at last night, Bowlby steps up and hit 5 in a row, and I don't know there's other kid on the team that shot a 3. So they know he's the guy that's going to shoot the ball.
I think he had 14 before half.
Yeah, he didn't miss the first 6 shots. He was 5 for 5 for 3, and then hit a jumper.
Well, when Bowlby's on, I know last year he kind of struggled there a little bit, but when he's hitting, I mean he's.
And that's the one thing I think about this Illinois team is you're going to see a lot of guys on nights where we're going to be looking really good because they got a lot of guys that can shoot the ball.
Good deal.
But then again, the Big Ten's tough. You guys see that on the road. You've got to win. You saw that thing on Monday. Was it Tuesday night where Kentucky played Kansas and Michigan State played Duke? It's like, holy cow, we're a little ways away from those type of teams. But what athletes the college game has.
Yeah, and it's amazing that year in, year out that those big name colleges, Kentucky, Duke, they get the kids, and I guess maybe once your program's established, which Gross hasn't.
I think he's working that way.
He's
a really good. I think he's right fit for Illinois. I think he's a guy we want. It's just
it's a matter
maybe
of
taking that step, and getting over that hump.
Yeah, and it helps out when you do recruit those top elite 5-star athletes. Yeah, you may not get them, but
our name's out there.
Your name's out there, and when you start winning, you'll start getting those kids.
Hey, one thing I know you were talking about it off air, Scott, but that the Central State 8 shootout at the convention center, we were talking about kind of a cool thing, a new thing they're doing. It's December the 6th. It's the next game after the Eaton Electrical Round Robin tournament. It's an all-day shootout, and that'll be the Central State 8 opener for every team. They'll play, we're playing Jacksonville at 7:30, but the schedule is out. I don't have it yet, but every team in the Central State 8 will play. And I think Pleasant Plains might be playing somebody, and maybe Williamsville. I think there's a couple other teams that are playing, but kind of a neat thing to open up the Central State 8 season. Everybody playing at the convention. I think, $5?
$5 all day.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
So if you're a basketball fan, that's
great place. I'm pretty sure you can leave and come back with the same, just for the $5. So. Pretty neat thing. Good place to watch a game, comfortable seat, all that stuff. We were there.
The last time we were there.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, played Cahokia.
Yeah, a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun games there.
Yeah, and a lot of not so.
Well,
fun.
yeah, we were even back when
Quincy kind of comes to mind,
but so much fun.
Well, hey, let's take another quick commercial break. We'll come back. We'll talk some NFL.
High school football.
Well, we'll talk some high school football going on today. Some big games to advance to state game next week in Champaign.
Another running clock. For Griffin.
Well, maybe
Absolutely.
we'll get another voice of the Railers on after break too. Jeff Benjamin just walked in, so stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM. Welcome back, sports fans, and yes, Joe knows.
Joe knows. That's some of Lloyd's best stuff right there. Very creative. Make fun of a guy.
Do you like puppies?
I love puppies.
But he doesn't like dogs.
But he doesn't like dogs.
I like dogs.
Welcome back to Cheap Seats. Scott Kirby, Joe Ryan. We are at Jake's Furnishings here today. We got the other part of the voice of the Lincoln Railer basketball station, I guess, Jeff Benjamin. Morning, Jeff.
Morning.
Basketball's among us.
It is.
Monday night we kick off. We just had Josh on with us a little bit ago. Are you ready?
Will be Monday night.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance? I know you were out there Thursday. Give us some thoughts. I know we talked earlier. It's kind of hard to judge what kind of team you have, but just give us some thoughts what you saw out there Thursday night.
Boy, it's gonna be different because of all those players that you've seen for all those years. The Max Cooks, the Bolbys, the Joey Oldens, and now it seems like a lot of it's going to fall to Gavin. Mm-hmm. But I think there's been a lot of cases in the past where players that have ended up being good in their junior and senior years, maybe folks didn't expect that because they didn't get a chance to play much, and that's probably because the people that were ahead of them didn't give them that chance. So now that they're going to get the chance to be the starters, it's going to be interesting, but with the coaching staff Lincoln has, you'll never count them out for anything.
Absolutely. Joe?
Yo.
Well, I thought you had something to say.
No, I just listened to it. It's like I think you'll have kids step up. I mean, like you said earlier, there'll be.
Well, you don't have much choice.
They're
going to have to step up.
You may lose 5, 6, 7 games, which I know nobody likes to lose, but everybody gets in the tournament. You just need to be good when it's tournament time.
Yeah.
And they always find a way to figure it out. Coach Alexander's always said he doesn't want to be playing great at Collinsville. He doesn't want to be playing great during the what used to be Chatham last year, Jacksonville, now round robin Central State 8 tournament. It's when, late February getting into March, that's when you want to have it all figured out, and they always seem to do it.
And all those kids that haven't had a chance to play, they're veterans by that time period. They got a full year under their belt.
Yeah.
They'll be good.
Yeah, they'll be good. We talked a little bit earlier about a little scheduling difference this year. If you don't have a schedule, listeners, fans, you might want to pick one up because there's some crazy stuff going on this year as far as we're going to have some weekday games. Mm-hmm. We talked about it just a little bit ago with Josh. We're playing that Saturday after Thanksgiving up at the Prairie Capital Convention Center. It's like a Central State 8 kickoff. The girls are going to be playing before a couple of the boys' games. It's just kind of it's really weird. It's just not going to be a cut and dry schedule where you got JV game, varsity game done. Right. It's kind of scattered out, so I really encourage, if you don't have a schedule, to get out there and get one because you might miss a game. You didn't know what time it started or what day they're playing. So yeah,
or you may go to the wrong school.
Yeah, right. So it's a little different this year. Another thing we didn't really mention was the Meyer Classic that they always had. Mm-hmm. It used to be in Chatham, last year in Jacksonville. Well, this year there's 4 different sites. I think Jacksonville, Chatham, and Lincoln. We're going to host the last night of that tournament, which is kind of weird. I don't know how that's going to work out. Just nobody wants that tournament.
I don't know. I don't know if it was just a case of, Jacksonville got it, but I think there was a big travel issue because, driving to Jacksonville 4 and 5 times during a week. Now with the Decatur schools involved, there's even more travel for them. So I think they were trying to figure out a way to share both the good and the bad of hosting something like that. And that's going to be really weird. Talked to Sam over the summer, and one of the strange things about the schedule is Lincoln and Jacksonville play twice this year, obviously. They don't play in Lincoln, and they don't play in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of schools are in that same situation with some of their opponents. I think we play them down in Rochester during the middle of the week of that, the Central State 8 round-robin tournament.
Yep.
It could be anything, anywhere. And then one of the differences down in Collinsville this year is instead of playing on consecutive days, they play on Saturday, off Sunday, and then play back Monday and Tuesday. So that's usually a little different because they always try and string those all together. So, yeah, it's going to be a strange year, and I'm sure the Rails will be ready for it.
Well, I'm ready for it. Joe, you ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
We see you got some Alabama gear on here.
That's right.
Alabama
Looks
ranked
new.
number 1 now?
Nope.
Is that what I saw?
When I take it off at night, I've got this box that I put it in to make sure there's no dust or anything like that. You know, I have
Just
it
checking on you.
I send out, professionally cleaned every couple weeks and everything like that. So, yeah, it's coming down to the end.
Well, it was kind of,
Alabama.
there for a while. You knew Alabama, they weren't in the top 4, but you knew towards the end they're going to be there. I mean, they're just a force to be reckoned with. And right now, are they number 1?
They are.
Yes.
Number 1. We still have who tops out that top 4?
Florida State.
TCU.
It's Bama, Oregon, Florida State, and Mississippi State.
TCU got knocked out. They lost last week. That's why. Okay. But yeah, it's coming down to. I kind of like it. You think they'll expand that 4-team eventually to?
I hope
8?
they do. I hope they do because. All along you've heard the committee talk about, well, we're going to put some emphasis on the conference champions. We're really going to give them, a better look than some of the other teams. But when they've got 5 major conferences, just simple math tells you at least one of them is going to be left out.
Right.
So it almost seems like it would make sense if they tweak it down the line. All the conference champions, however that conference determines your champion, whether it's a championship game or like the Big 12, it's just you play your season and that's your champion. And then those 5 conference champions get in. They pick the next 3 teams and
3
seed them
wild
and
cards and
let them go. And, being a Bama fan, I'd like to see 6 or 7 SEC teams in, but I don't think that'll happen. But, if people complain, even in the SEC, say the 3rd best SEC team doesn't get into an 8-team playoff, just win more games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
if you can't be the top 2 in your conference, at least, then you don't really have anything to, complain about. I wouldn't think.
And for example, right now, Wisconsin's 15th. I know there's a lot of things that have to go their way for them to make it, to the Big Ten championship and then win that. But
even if they do,
I wouldn't want to play them right now the way they're playing, just because of what they can do.
Guy might run for 400 yards on you if you're not careful.
In 3 quarters.
Yeah, and didn't play the 4th. Wow, I'd have went out there. Come on.
Hey,
Coach.
speaking of football, I'll jump into this IHSA real quick before we get out here. In 2A, Maroa Foresight is at Tuscola today.
That'd be a good
the
game.
winner gets to go to the state championship.
Also, where's 1A?
We skip 1A. We don't.
I'm surprised you
I'm
have
trying
2A
to
on
go
there.
with local stuff here.
Oh,
I don't have any 7 or 8A either.
okay.
3A, Mount Carmel will be at Williamsville. If you're not doing anything today, what a great place. It's going to be a beautiful day to go watch some high school football.
Absolutely.
And, the winner of that is going to go to the state championship. And they'll play the winner of Byron. And Byron's at Wilmington today. And as I talked about before, an ex-Lincoln coach is at Wilmington. So, he could be playing Williamsville for state championship. 4A, you got those Rochester Rockets. They're going down to Heron.
That's a drive.
I don't know.
I think they must have left last night to get down there in time.
I was talking to a guy from Rochester asking what they might do. I would have left last night, stayed in the hotel, but he seems to think that they'll get up early, get up there, because they like to keep them at home. But man, you're 3.5 hours on a bus. You get off that bus expected to play a football game. That's tough to do.
That's a long way. And you know what? They're only going to get to play a half a game.
What were you saying?
Because I think they're going to.
They'll just beat Heron?
I don't think Heron knows what's coming
I
out
don't
of
think they have seen a team like Rochester where they spread it out and just.
I think the Heron Tigers are in a lot of trouble today. Rochester plays for another state championship.
You going down to that?
No.
So you might want to leave.
And
Leave.
Chicago Phillipson's playing Coal City. That's who they'll play for the state championship, Rochester. And Coal City is actually in the same conference as Wilmington. So there's 2 of their teams could be playing for state championships. Then you jump to 5A. Geneseo at Lombard Montini would be a great game to see today.
Yeah, well.
And they're going to get SHG. SHG's at home today playing Peoria, and SHG will have a running clock again. That'll be 13 straight running clocks for SHG this year. What a team.
Oh, man.
That's never been done before. 13 straight. Now I have to tell you, I'm not sure they can put a running clock on Lombard Montini.
No.
And Geneseo and Lombard Montini, I think Lombard wins, but Geneseo's very good too. Hard to put a running clock on those guys, but who knows? And then you got Joe Walters up there at Peoria Notre Dame. He's at home against Lamont. Winner of that goes to state championship. So, and Illinois is at 11 o'clock. Well, they're Penn State, or they're at home today against
they
Penn
got to
State.
win the next 3 games to be bowl qualified. Or
What bowl would they be in?
toilet bowl? If they make a bowl, if the Illinois makes a bowl game, something's wrong.
I'm so anti-bowl and some
I
of
am
that
too.
stuff. You know what I mean?
There's
It's
a bowl
just-
for everything.
I know it's a moneymaker.
There's
for
a
them, but
Jim's Cords bowl.
It's ridiculous.
It's bad.
That's when you should just, hey, you know what? We're not very good, and we're embarrassed to go to a bowl game. Let somebody else go.
Let's call it quits right now, and I'll find another
That's
job.
exactly right.
Well, and there have been some coaches in the past that if their team, they thought they were going to have a good year, and they finish 7-4, 7-5, and at the end of that last game, they say, "Don't even consider us because we're not even going to go." And the boosters get upset, but then they're the ones that have to buy all the tickets to go up from, Carolina out to Nevada, and then there's 10,000 people in a 60,000
All
seat
parents.
stadium. Yeah, and the band and.
Yeah.
Very true. I'm hoping this new thing with college football, because let's face it, the NCAA basketball tournament's awesome.
And
they need this football
Yeah.
thing to get figured out because all the bowl games I think are just ridiculous and none of them mean anything. And it's just, and I'm a football fan. They just need some way of making it
or
come to an end and have a meaning.
Yeah, it's almost like the NFL Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean anything,
No.
and nobody
Las
wants.
Vegas loves it, and and that's about it.
It's all about the money. So, hey, let's last few minutes we have here. Let's talk some NFL real quick. Big game tomorrow, Lloyd. The Buccaneers and the Bears.
The Lovey Bowl.
The Buccaneers,
Kirby
and
versus
the Bears.
Kirby.
I gotta tell you, what type of shootout are we in store for there, fellas?
Well, not a good one. Lloyd's not real confident.
I'm confident.
Oh, he's confident. He's confident the other way. He thinks the Buccaneers are going to beat the Bears.
I do too.
Who has the most personable head coach? I mean, which one's going to be the most fired up? And if they were, how could you tell?
Neither of them. You're not.
Boy,
Yeah, it's just like a morgue on the sidelines.
the big
No
game tomorrow is at 3:25.
The Big Red. Who the Big Red have
They're
this
playing
week?
the Hawks. They're out playing the Hawks.
That's not going to be a good game.
How's that not going to be
Big
a good
Red
game?
will roll them over.
It's a tough place
Atlanta's
to play.
struggling. The Bears
Fitz may
beat
not
Atlanta.
play. Atlanta.
Who are you talking about? The Hawks. Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks are a
Falcons.
basketball
Oh,
team.
you got the Seahawks.
He's
Holy! Can we cut to a commercial?
Wow. I'm thinking. I'm seeing a hawk. I'm seeing a falcon. Wow.
See,
Are you driving home today?
Boy.
Oh boy.
Tammy, can you come get him?
Well, okay. Well, the Seahawks aren't looking real good either. They've been kind of struggling.
They're scary though out there.
Yeah,
it's a tough
they got
place
the
to play.
12th man.
That's good. They're scary. Let's just put it that way. And Fitz, I don't think he's going to play. They should sit him. I think he's tweaked his knee a little bit. Sit him. We're all right.
Oh yeah, you're all right.
We're at a 3-game lead right now. We don't need. Let's just
Rest our
recuperate.
starters and
Let's coast
hope
in.
for the best. Hope for the best.
It's a home Super Bowl, my friend. You know that.
I know. So Joe knows. We all heard it.
And he doesn't like cats.
And he doesn't like cats, but he loves kittens. So when they turn into a cat,
Well, and they got to go. You know what I mean?
I do know what they mean. You mean. No comment. Some other games tomorrow. What do we got going on? Green Bay at Minnesota. Kansas City. Oakland Thursday night. Oakland with their first regular season win in over a year.
They didn't want to win.
Congratulations.
Towards the end,
Did you see
9
when,
on one side, 2 on the
high-fiving because they made a great play, and then they get an encroachment call because they don't get back on the other side. Wow.
You know what? That's funny stuff, especially when you think it's pro football. It's bad enough if it's a youth football team that does it.
Well,
It's pro football.
Pro football.
We had a guy for the Bears blow out his knee celebrating a sack.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yeah. Well, and from Detroit. The linebacker over there did it too. So if you make a sack, don't celebrate. Act like you've been there and done that. Cincinnati at Houston. Tampa Bay at Chicago. Cleveland at Atlanta. That'd be a good game. Tennessee at Philly. That won't be a good game.
It shouldn't be.
Detroit at New England. That should be a good game. Jacksonville, Indiana, or Indianapolis. Arizona at Seattle, 3:05. How about St. Louis at San Diego?
Hey, let's give St. Louis some kudos there. What a
Absolutely.
win they had last weekend.
Wow, they're looking pretty
Holy
good.
cow. Yeah,
I never would have thought that.
Oh,
Denver
no.
like that.
I think they said it was the lowest scoring, the lowest output he's ever had, Manning's ever had. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, Washington at San Francisco, Miami at Denver, Dallas at New York, and Monday Night Football going to be played in Detroit. My New York Jets at Buffalo.
And the Ravens Saints.
And Ravens Saints. So we got 2 Monday night games. How about Buffalo? How would you like to live out there right now?
$10 an hour shoveling snow.
You couldn't pay me $100 an hour.
I don't know where you're throwing it though. Once you get a shovel full of it, what are you doing?
Well, you're just going you're forming a line. You scoop it here, and the next guy grabs it right out the building.
Yeah, I'm throwing it over on your stack, and you're mad and throwing it on his.
And you're going to
nowhere to go.
You're going to pay $10 an hour for people to come shovel. How are they going to get there to shovel it?
Now they're having problems. And now they say when it warms up, they're going to have flood problems.
They're going to have floods.
It's supposed to rain and be in the 50s this weekend.
Oh.
So.
They said that stadium might not be ready till December. Wow, there's a lot of snow. Then you got to worry about structural damage because of all the snow, and then if it's raining, getting that heavy, wet snow.
Yep. And it's funny, there's been talk over the past few years about Buffalo being one of the teams that could move if the NFL ever went to Toronto. Well, Toronto has a dome.
Goodbye.
You don't have to worry. You have to worry about getting them to the stadium.
Right.
But you don't have to worry about shoveling out a stadium in Toronto, so...
I'm packing my bags. If I'm Sammy Watkins, I'm like, what did I get myself into?
It was not this cold in South Carolina at Clemson.
No. But, yeah, that's pretty interesting. And the tickets are free. So you guys want to drive up, see a free game, Detroit, Lloyd? Sure. Want to go?
Are the Jets out of there yet? Or Buffalo out of there? They were talking about how they really couldn't get to all the players to get them to the airport. They were having trouble.
Well, how are you going to clear out the airport?
I don't know. I'm not very smart. I don't know how you're doing any of that.
Wow. Joe doesn't know smarts.
Hold on a minute. I guess I can figure it out. I do know a lot of stuff. I'm going to get that airport cleared.
All right. Well, hey, it's 10:04. Our time has come to an end. We did have some technical difficulties earlier, so if we lost you, we apologize. But I think we got all the bugs worked out, and you didn't miss
let's
much.
thank Jim for coming in and getting some stuff done. The cord man.
Yeah, Jim earned his money today.
Jim, the cord man.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it.
If you've got cords at home that are tangled up, extension cords, Christmas tree lights, if you've got some things at home that are tangled up, give Jim a call.
He will
call him right here at the station. He'll come and get that all squared away for you.
Now, we don't know if they're going to work, but he'll get them untangled. Yeah. It is, a new, isn't there something wireless?
Well, it's just like our paperless society that we're in.
Yeah.
This is a wireless society we're in.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for us. We're not going to have a show next week. Am I correct? Because of Raider basketball. But be sure to tune in to 96.3 and streaming live on the web at WLCNonline.com for all your Raider coverage. Jeff Benjamin, Josh Komnick will be bringing you play-by-play. You guys usually come on about, a half hour before tip-off?
Somewhere thereabouts.
Depending on how the other game before goes.
Oh, yeah. And see, that'll make it real fun that Central State 8 shootout down at Prairie Capital. There is no scheduled break in between the games. So the first game starts at 9 in the morning. By the time they get to the Lincoln-Jacksonville game at 7:30, we may be tipping there about 10 o'clock. And we may have to add extra time in the pregame with Joe on the go over there.
We're talking to the whole place.
Joe on the go because he knows.
That's right.
We're talking to every fan coming in and out of that place.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for coming in, Jeff. Going to be another exciting Raider basketball season. Jake, thanks for having us here today. I'm glad you showed up to unlock the doors for us.
It's a good day to buy furniture.
He's got to put his mic on and get his outing here. So
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so tune in 2 weeks. I'm not sure where we'll be, but tune in. We'll be somewhere.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
If we're not here, we're there.
Yeah, you'll never be here.
We might not come back here ever again.
Ever.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. It's been the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM and streaming live on the web at WLCNonline.com.
Good day.